The Mariah thing, that's true. Those rumors are true, and I'm not going to deny them.
So did you date him?
No. Stop following me every city we go. It's over between us. Remember you said there was never anything between us? Remember you said on MTV and whatever it was? There was never anything between us, and you never flew jets from my house for me and passed out.
Mariah Carey and Eminem may have gone head-to-head for years, throwing lyrical jabs and subliminal shade. Yet somehow, both stayed in the spotlight like nothing ever happened. But Nick Cannon, man, he straight up vanished from the A-list. Let's take it back to 2001. Eminem sat down for an interview and casually dropped a bomb. He claimed he was romantically involved with Mariah Carey not long after she split from music mogul Tommy Mottola in '98. That alone had folks raising their eyebrows. But what really threw gasoline on the fire? Mariah's icy response. In her own interview, she didn't just brush it off, she flat out denied it ever happened. No flings. No secret love affair. Nada. That denial hit Eminem in the gut. Fans were already split, but now they were in full-blown chaos mode. Some believed Mariah was saving face. Others swore Eminem made the whole thing up for clout. But let's be real, Mariah's words weren't just a no. They were a slap to Slim Shady's ego. And from there, things only spiraled. Mariah claimed they just talked on the phone, maybe hung out a few times. Strictly friendly vibes. Nothing romantic. But Eminem, he swore up and down they were in a relationship for 7 months. According to him, it ended because they just didn't vibe personality-wise. Total clash. But here's the twist. Eminem didn't just walk away quietly. That denial bruised his pride in front of millions. And you already know, Slim Shady wasn't the type to take that on the chin. So how did he strike back? With what he knew best, a diss track.
Really into what she was into. We didn't. Our personalities collided.
You know, like animals?
She's a diva, and I'm not really. I'm a little more like regular.
Fast forward to 2002. Eminem dropped The Eminem Show. The whole album was fire, but one track had fans raising eyebrows. Superman. This wasn't just random shots. The lyrics painted a picture of a woman lying about wanting more than what he could give. And then, boom, the line that lit the internet on fire. What, you trying to be my new wife? What, you Mariah? Fly through twice. That one bar was all it took to send the fanbases into a frenzy. The media dissected every lyric, and the whispers turned into full-blown conversations. Yet through all the noise, Mariah stayed quiet. Not a peep. No clapback. At least, not right away. But then came 2003. Mariah dropped Charm Bracelet. And buried in that album was a track that hit different, Clown. And fans knew instantly what it was. Mariah sang, "You should have never intimated we were lovers when you know very well we never even touched each other." Direct hit. Direct hit suddenly. This wasn't just celebrity gossip. This was an all-out lyrical war.
How about Eminem?
What about him?
Do you date him?
No.
Where was that printed?
I was printed everywhere.
And you didn't date him at all?
I hung out with him. I spoke to him on the phone. I think I was probably with him.
By 2005, things got even messier. Eminem wasn't done. On stage in New York, he switched up lyrics to take shots at Mariah again. But this time, he cranked the disrespect up to 100. The music paused. Out of nowhere, a voicemail recording played, allegedly Mariah, sounding flirty with M, in front of the whole crowd. Then, Eminem pretended to puke into a toilet on stage. And immediately after, he performed his track Puke. Fans were shook. The disrespect was off the charts. And the message was clear. Eminem wasn't letting this go. Mariah, though, once again, silence. But silence only lasts so long.
Going on between you and Eminem, if anything?
Nothing. Look, I talked to him. I, have spoken to him a few times, whatever. But in terms of me having like an intimate relationship with men, I can name them all on one hand.
Rumors flew. Headlines popped. But Mariah, she gave him no ammo. Then came 2008. Boom. Collision Mariah dropped a bombshell. She married Nick Cannon in a surprise wedding. Fans were stunned. Nick, the funny guy from Wild 'N Out, was suddenly her husband. Nobody saw that coming. And the moment the wedding hit the news, everyone had the same question. What's Eminem gonna say now? Well, he didn't make them wait long. Eminem came back swinging in 2009 with his album Relapse. And on the 5th track, Bagpipes from Baghdad, he dropped bombs. But this time, he wasn't just aiming at Mariah. Oh no, he was coming straight for Nick Cannon too. Now, this wasn't just shady flirtation drama anymore. Nick, Mariah's new hubby, wasn't caught in the crossfire. He was the target. One line stood out like a flashing red warning sign. Nick Cannon better back the F*** up. I'm not playing. I'm about to wild the F*** out. Asterisk, and yes, that wasn't just a rhyme. That was a direct shot, twisting the knife even deeper by flipping Nick's own show title, Wild and Out, against him. Savage. Eminem was acting up heavy, turning what started as a petty feud into full-blown warfare. Direct hit, then came the clapback fans were waiting for. On June 16, 2009, Mariah finally stepped out from the shadows. She dropped her lead single Obsessed from the album Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. And this time, she wasn't playing nice. No more silence. No more subtle shade. This was a full-on lyrical smackdown. From the moment the beat dropped, fans knew this was personal. The music video sealed the deal. Mariah rocked a hoodie and a fake goatee, classic Eminem style, mocking him as a delusional stalker. Obsessive. Creepy. She flipped the narrative completely, hinting that Eminem was the one chasing her, not the other way around. And with that iconic hook, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" Mariah made sure the whole world knew exactly who she was talking about. Even though she never said his name, the shade was undeniable. The world caught it instantly. Globe showing America's fire for the first time since this messy back and forth began, Eminem decided to take the gloves off. On August 29, 2009, he dropped a track called A Warning. And let's be real, it wasn't just a diss. It was a full-blown threat. In the song, Slim Shady claimed he had receipts, photos, voicemails, messages that Mariah had allegedly sent him. Proof, according to him, that they did have something real going on, despite her constant denial.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm sick.
And this wasn't the playful, punchline Eminem we were used to. Nah, this was the unhinged, rage-filled version. He went wild and took it to the next level, cutting in real voicemails, actual phone call clips, and even chopped up bits of Mariah's own interviews to lace into the track. It was like he wanted to drag her through the mud, and then light the mud on fire. This wasn't just music anymore. It was turning into legal territory. Mariah's camp wasn't having it. Her team reportedly threatened to hit Eminem with a lawsuit if he dared to release any of those private recordings. The drama had gone beyond lyrics. This was now about legal threats and protecting reputations. But here's the thing. If Mariah always swore there was no romantic or intimate connection between them, why would leaked voicemails even be a problem? That's exactly what fans started asking. People were side-eyeing the whole situation like, wait a minute, what's really going on here? This right here was like bringing a water balloon to a knife fight and still getting sliced. Eminem's The Warning wasn't just a diss, it was a straight-up warning shot to anybody thinking of stepping to him. Petty. Absolutely. Brutal. Without a doubt. And it made one thing crystal clear, Eminem wasn't backing down from anyone, especially not Nick Cannon. Now Nick, being Mariah's husband, wasn't about to sit back and let Slim keep dragging her name through the dirt without saying something. And honestly, who could blame him? Imagine your wife getting name-dropped in every diss track, headline, and viral moment.
Everyone always asks me, like, why did you dress up as the stalker?
Eventually, any partner's going to snap. And Nick, he definitely snapped. At first, he tried to play it classy. He wrote a blog post. Yep, a whole essay, throwing some subtle shade back at M. It was clear he wasn't feeling the disrespect. He basically warned Eminem to keep his wife's name out of his mouth, or else he'd handle it. Whether that meant with bars, fists, or lawyers, no one really knew. But that threat alone had people watching like it was round one of a celebrity boxing match. And just when things were cooling off, Nick turned the heat up again. In another blog post, he went all in, calling Eminem childish and immature, like he was some washed-up school bully with a mic. That was the moment Nick crossed over from supportive husband to potential sparring partner. By this point, fans already knew it was about to get ugly. What started as a tiny spark from an old interview had now grown into a full-blown, years-long feud stacked with disses, drama, and way too much pride. Nick Cannon's effort to stand up for his wife was seen by most as a sweet gesture, a husband trying to protect his queen. But nobody saw it coming when Eminem clapped back with fire that was violent, aggressive, and downright brutal. Nick might have thought he was stepping into a lyrical argument, but Eminem turned it into a lyrical war. And while Nick was swinging, Mariah played it cool.
He took it.
I had
personal.
no idea that Nick Cannon was going to start wilding out on me.
Wild out, Tony.
No pun intended.
Pun included. He wilded out. I mean, what?
Paparazzi caught her slipping out, and when they hit her with the usual, "What's going on with Eminem?" she shut it down with one snarky comment, "I don't eat candy." Boom. That was her way of saying she was over it. not even giving him the time of day. But Nick, he wasn't finished. He hopped on Twitter and dropped a series of cryptic, shady tweets, each one clearly aimed at M. The tension was thick, and fans were refreshing their feeds, just waiting for the next bomb to drop. Then in 2010, Nick stepped into the booth himself. He released a diss track titled I'm a Slick Rick, trying to channel old school energy while throwing jabs at Eminem. In the track, he labeled M a liar and tossed out several other not-so-friendly names, making it clear he was officially in the ring now. Eminem heard Nick's diss, rolled his eyes, and kept it moving. He straight up ignored it. No response track. No shady lyrics. Nothing. When asked in an interview, M finally addressed the whole situation, saying, I really don't want to talk about her anymore. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I'm not even going to comment about it. I'm done with that whole situation. I said what I had to say. I'm done. And for a second, folks thought it was over. Curtains closed. No more back and forth. But nah, this drama had a second act waiting backstage. Even though Eminem tapped out, Nick Cannon wasn't letting it go. He started doing interviews where he wouldn't stop bringing him up, calling him a liar, dragging him for the past, and stirring the pot even more. Then, out of nowhere, Nick tried to make it a spectacle. He went public and invited Eminem to appear on Wild 'N Out like it was about to be some friendly rap showdown on MTV. But not even a blink. No reply. No show. No mention. Like, boy, stop. Slim wasn't playing into that circus. Still, the internet didn't let it slide. Eminem's fans came swinging, and they rallied hard behind him. Nick started getting blasted on social media, with fans clowning him for dragging the beef just to stay relevant. Every post, every interview, it turned into a battlefield in the comments section. With Eminem staying quiet and Nick doing the most, the internet became the real stage for this beef. Every time Nick popped up with a new comment or called him out on Wild 'N Out, fans were quick to shut it down. It turned into a digital battleground, with stans flooding his posts, clowning him for reaching and trying to force smoke that clearly wasn't mutual anymore. Smash that like button, hit share, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the next story coming out the hood. We got plenty more heat on the way. Stay locked in. Music, heat, heat, N. Music, music.
Like calling her all kind of hoes. Like, this is my wife. This is my new wife. I got it. Like, and I wrote it. Yeah.
But Nick wasn't letting go. It was like he made it his personal mission to get some kind of reaction out of Eminem. He even started hinting that M was scared to show up saying stuff like, if you're really about the bars, pull up. And at that point, folks started debating. Was this bravery or desperation? Meanwhile, Eminem was off doing what he does best, dropping chart-topping music, staying unbothered, and letting his legacy speak louder than any diss track. But his silence made Nick even louder. Cannon dropped another track, The Invitation, and brought back up with Suge Knight making an appearance, which only fueled the chaos. He tried to paint M as a fraud, calling him out over old accusations, personal drama, and even questioning his street credit. But again, radio silence from M. Instead, M's fans turned up the volume. Memes, videos, remixes, they dragged The Invitation for filth, calling it one of the weakest disc attempts ever aimed at Marshall. Even casual listeners said Nick was punching way out of his weight class. Fans started clowning Nick hard, mocking him for acting like he was wrapped around Mariah's finger, then suddenly switching up with his tough guy persona. It just wasn't adding up. Folks were calling it out left and right like, come on Nick. Stop fronting. You're not even built like that. The streets weren't buying the act, and neither was the internet. It felt forced, like he was trying too hard to play a role that didn't fit him. When his diss tracks dropped, it got ugly. A wave of negative reviews came pouring in. People said the bars were weak, the delivery was corny, and the whole thing just felt desperate. Some even said it sounded like a school project, not a rap battle. Thousands of fans, even some who liked Nick, turned on him for jumping into the lion's den, trying to go toe-to-toe with a legend like Eminem. It got so bad, fans themselves started making diss tracks against Nick, writing for Eminem like it was a battle for the throne, one of the wildest ones. A viral disc titled 4-Day Boy aimed directly at Cannon, tearing him apart with bars sharper than anything he put on wax. Fast forward to 2019, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon's marriage came to an end. And while some folks were genuinely sad about it, others low-key celebrated, claiming they never believed in the couple from the start. They caught a little backlash from the public, sure, but nothing major came out of it. And as for Eminem, he stayed quiet. No sneak disses, no interviews. It really looked like he'd moved on just like he said he would. But Nick, man, he couldn't help himself. He popped back up on a podcast, dragging M's name into the convo once again, all in the name of setting the record straight. But fans weren't buying it anymore. They accused him of clout chasing, using M's name just to stay in the headlines. In December 2021, things took another wild turn when Eminem popped up as a feature on Fat Joe's album Family Ties on a track called Lord Above. And just like that, Slim Shady came out the shadows with a surgical strike. After staying quiet for years, M dropped a line that had the internet buzzing. He basically said Nick was whipped by Mariah, hinting that maybe that's why Nick just couldn't keep his name out their old beef. It was subtle but deadly. Instead of firing back with bars, Nick took it to social media. He made an Instagram post thanking Fat Joe. Yes, Fat Joe for bringing Eminem's career back from the grave. Like, huh. And then, right on cue, he invited M again to appear on Wild 'N Out. Bro just wouldn't stop. It was clear by now. This wasn't about honor. This was about attention, views, clicks, ratings. Everyone could see it. Nick wasn't trying to win a lyrical war. He was trying to keep his name trending. And to do that, he needed Eminem. Simple as that. No shade, just facts. Let's be real. Nick dropped 3 diss tracks, a whole trilogy. And what did M do? Not a single response, not a single bar, nothing. And that right there, that was the most humiliating part. M didn't even flinch because sometimes the loudest clapback is pure silence. Let them scream into the void while you stay untouchable. Made it clear. Nick wasn't a threat. He was a sideshow. And if Nick thought pushing harder would force a battle, he learned real quick that M wasn't about to lower himself to fight for views. Now, here we are years later, and both Eminem and Mariah Carey are still living legends in the game. They're packing out arenas, breaking streaming records, and keeping their names stamped in music history like they never missed a beat. Their catalogs untouchable. Their legacy cemented. And then there's Nick Cannon. While he does get credit for Wild 'N Out and some solid moves in entertainment, let's be honest, these days he's more known for having a whole squad of baby mamas than for any chart-topping accomplishments. The internet's got more memes of his growing family tree than clips of his music career, and that says a lot. Respect where it's due, but the legacy race, it's not even close. This whole saga started with a denied relationship and spiraled into a lyrical war. Instagram jabs, diss tracks, and podcasts. But in the end, M didn't even have to raise his voice. He let silence do the damage, and it worked. Nick tried to keep the fire alive, but M had already moved on to greater things. If you enjoyed that wild ride as much as we did, don't just dip out. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Let us know who you think won this epic back and forth. Was it the queen of vocals, the king of diss tracks, or the wild card who couldn't let it go? Smash that like button, hit share, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss the next story coming out the hood. We got plenty more heat on the way. Stay locked in. Music, heat, heat, N. Music, music.